Ty Borden, back in Heartland? After all this time, after all the heartbreak. It sounds impossible, but the opening episode of season 19 has left fans speechless. Whether it's a twist, a vision, or something more, one thing is clear: the story of Ty Borden is not over yet. Heartland fans around the world are still processing what they just witnessed in the first episode of season 19. Ty Borden, the beloved husband of Amy Fleming, the heart and soul of the series for over a decade, appears again against all odds. For many viewers, this moment didn't just stir up emotion, it reopened a chapter they thought had been closed forever. Let's break it down. The title of episode 1 sparked curiosity the moment it was announced. While Heartland usually goes for subtle and poetic titles, this time the episode name hinted at memory, return, and connection. Fans immediately began to speculate. Could this really mean what we think it means? Could Ty Borden be back? Then came the first trailer. It was brief, just flashes. Amy walking through the familiar ranch, a voice in the distance, and then him. The screen barely showed his face, but fans knew. That voice, that profile, the presence, it was unmistakably Ty. And now, with the full episode released, the buzz is louder than ever. Ty's return is not a rumor anymore. It's real. But what does real mean in a show like Heartland? The showrunners have pulled off something bold. After keeping details under wraps for months, they opened the new season with a twist that no one expected. Without giving away the full scene yet, let's just say this: Ty is seen in a way that brings back deep memories, stirs emotions, and sets the tone for a season that will likely focus on healing, memory, and perhaps unfinished business. Fans are now rewatching the first episode over and over, trying to catch every clue, every detail. Was this a dream? A vision? A flashback? Or has Heartland found a way to continue Ty's story beyond death, in a way that stays true to the series' emotional depth? Either way, this moment is a gift to longtime viewers who never stopped hoping to see him again. But before we dive deeper into how Ty comes back, let's take a moment to remember why his return matters so much to the show, to Amy, and to the fans. It wasn't just another character death. When Ty Borden died, it felt like something broke not just in the story, but in the hearts of millions of fans. Season 14, Episode 1. That's when it happened. And even now, it's hard to talk about without feeling a lump in your throat. Ty had just recovered from being shot. He seemed okay. He was smiling. He was back on his feet. And then, suddenly, he collapsed. No warning, no final words, just a quiet, painful goodbye. He died of a blood clot. Something silent, something hidden. Just like that, the man who had been a pillar of strength for Amy, for the Fleming family, and for the entire Heartland community, was gone. For many fans, it felt like losing a real person. Ty had grown up on screen. We saw him arrive as a troubled teen. We watched him fall in love, become a father, and finally build a life he truly deserved. He was more than just Amy's husband. He was a symbol of healing, redemption, and loyalty. His journey wasn't perfect, but that made it even more powerful. And for Amy, the loss was earth-shattering. She didn't just lose her partner. She lost her best friend, the father of her child, the one person who knew her soul inside and out. The ranch, the horses, the open fields, they all felt colder after Ty was gone. That's what made season 14 and beyond so heavy. The show didn't rush past the grief. It sat with it. Amy struggled. She cried. She tried to stay strong for Lindy, for the family. But the light in her eyes was dimmer, and viewers felt every bit of it. That's the thing about Heartland: it doesn't fake emotion. It lets it breathe. It lets it hurt. Some fans stopped watching after Tais death. It was too painful. Others continued, hoping Amy would find peace. But even then, something always felt missing. Like a song without a melody, like the sky without stars. That's why his return now, whether in a dream, a vision, or something else, hit so hard. Because we never really let go. We never fully moved on. Ty Borden was written off the show, yes, but he was never written out of our hearts. And now, season 19 brings him back, if only for a moment, with all that emotion still raw underneath. It's not just nostalgia. It's not just surprise. It's grief knocking on the door again, only this time there might be healing waiting on the other side. So what led to this powerful return? Was it always part of the plan, or something unexpected? In the next section, we'll explore how this comeback started taking shape, from cryptic interviews to fan theories that suddenly don't sound so crazy anymore. It didn't happen out of nowhere. The truth is, Heartland had been whispering to us, quietly, carefully, and if you weren't paying attention, you missed it. Long before season 19, there were signs. Not loud ones. Heartland never works that way. But if you watched closely, you could feel it. Like the way a cold wind shifts before a storm, or how silence hangs just a little too long in a familiar place. Something was coming. Let's go back. Months before season 19 was even confirmed, fans started noticing strange details. A short video shared on social media by the cast. A behind-the-scenes moment where Amber Marshall paused just before answering a question about the past. A cryptic post from Graham Wardle himself, sharing a single line from a poem. Gone does not always mean forever. That one post sparked thousands of comments. Could he be hinting at something? Or was it just a farewell echo? No one could say for sure. But suddenly, people were listening again. Then came the cast interviews. In one press event, the showrunner was asked about closure, about whether Amy's story with Tai was truly over. Their answer? Healing takes many forms. Some stories echo beyond the frame. That line stayed with people. It didn't sound like a no, it didn't sound final. Then came the fan theories. Reddit threads exploded. YouTube channels posted breakdowns. Some fans believed Tai would appear in Amy's dreams, especially since she had started talking about signs and spiritual connections with nature in season 18. Others believed he might return in flashbacks, maybe old footage, unseen scenes, or even a voiceover that tied into Amy's inner healing. But there were wilder theories too. One that caught fire suggested Tai had secretly written letters to Lindy before his death, and one would finally reach her, triggering emotional flashbacks where viewers would see new footage of Tai, perhaps filmed in secret. Another theory said Tai never died at all, and it was all a misdirection, but that one didn't hold up, not in Heartland's grounded reality. And yet, no one let go of the idea. Because even if logic said it was impossible, the heart said something else. Then came the season 19 promotional poster. At first glance, it looked like any other season. Wide skies, horses running, Amy in the distance. But eagle-eyed fans noticed something strange in the reflection of the water near the barn. A figure, blurred, in the same jacket Tai used to wear. Some said it was a stretch, others said it was hope. But when the trailer dropped just 10 seconds of footage, those hopes caught fire. Amy walks across the ranch, stops, and looks to the horizon. And in the breeze, she whispers, "Is it really you?" The screen fades. The music swells. No face is shown, but the voice, deep, warm, familiar, answers, "I never left." That's all it took. The fandom exploded. Ty Borden, gone for 5 seasons, was coming back. And now, the question on everyone's mind isn't if he's back, it's how. What did the episode actually reveal? Was it a dream, a memory, or something even deeper? In the next section, we'll break down the moment itself. The scene that brought Ty Borden back to Heartland. Frame by frame, line by line. And why it's one of the most emotional moments the series has ever given us. It didn't start with music. It didn't start with words. It started with silence. A quiet kind of silence, the kind that makes you feel like something is about to happen. Not loud, not dramatic, just still, like the world took a breath and forgot to exhale. That's how it began. Amy standing alone in the barn, late at night. The horses calm, the wind barely moving. A feeling in the air, soft but heavy. She's brushing Spartan, her hands slow, distracted. Her eyes aren't really on the horse. They're distant. She's somewhere else. And then, it happens. She turns, slowly, like she knows someone's behind her. But there's no sound, no footsteps, just a presence. The camera lingers on her face. Her breath catches in her throat. Her lips part slightly, but she doesn't speak. Her eyes fill with something between shock and peace. Then off screen we hear it. A voice, gentle, familiar. You still talk to the horses like they're people. Amy doesn't move. Not yet. She closes her eyes. A tear falls. And then she turns toward the sound. And there he is. Tai. Not as a ghost. Not as a flashback. But standing there, lit by soft golden light. Wearing his old ranch jacket. Hands in his pockets. Calm. Solid. Real. But is he? The show never says outright. The scene walks a delicate line. It's intimate, surreal, deeply emotional but grounded. There are no visual effects, no obvious dream cues. It's quiet storytelling, Heartland style. Amy walks toward him, slowly, like she's afraid he'll vanish. She reaches out, and they touch. Their fingers meet. Her hand brushes his face. Are you really here? She whispers. Tai doesn't answer directly. He just smiles. That soft Tais Death smile. The one we haven't seen in years. Then he says, I never left you. Not really. It's a line that says everything. Is this a dream? A memory her heart needed? A moment of spiritual connection? The show doesn't explain. And that's the beauty of it. The power is in the feeling, not the logic. For one scene, just a few precious minutes, Tai and Amy exist in the same space again. No pain, no loss, just love. And when the moment ends softly, gently, Amy is left standing in the barn once more. Alone, and yet not. She smiles through tears. For the first time in a long time, she looks free. Light, like something that was broken inside her has started to heal. And fans, they were stunned. Many cried. Some paused the episode, just to sit with the feeling. Tai's return wasn't just about plot, it was about closure, about memory, about how love can echo beyond time. This wasn't a twist. It wasn't a gimmick. It was a gift, a moment to breathe, a moment to remember, a moment to say what couldn't be said before. Tai came back not to change the story, but to complete a part of it. And with that, Heartland reminded us, even when people leave, love remains. It didn't matter where you were, Canada, the US, Germany, Australia, India. For a few brief moments, fans around the world were united by one thing, the return of Tais Death. And it wasn't quiet. Within minutes of the episode airing, the internet lit up. Twitter exploded with disbelief. YouTube comments flooded in like waves. TikTok was full of teary-eyed reaction videos, people filming themselves mid-episode, hands over mouths, eyes wide, some whispering, "No way, it's him." It wasn't just excitement, it was emotion. Deep, overwhelming, and honest. On Reddit, a longtime user wrote, I haven't cried this hard since season 14. I thought I was ready. I wasn't. I didn't even know how much I needed this moment until it happened. Another post simply said, he said I never left and I just broke. That line, that delivery, it undid me. Even fans who had stopped watching after Tais death returned to the series just to witness it. Some had stayed away for years, unable to move on from what felt like a personal loss. But this scene? It called them back, not with answers but with comfort. On Facebook fan groups, the older viewers, the ones who had watched Heartland since 2007, shared their stories. Some spoke of watching the show through heartbreak, illness, divorce, grief, and how seeing Tai again, even briefly, felt like reconnecting with someone they'd lost in their own lives. There were reaction videos of mothers watching with daughters, families crying together. One clip went viral. A young girl, maybe 12, watching the scene in silence, then turning to her mom and whispering, "He came back for her." That's it. Just that. And somehow it said everything. Heartland 19 trended for 2 days. And it wasn't just about Tai. It was about everything he represented. Healing, closure, unfinished goodbyes. The idea that love lingers even when people are gone. Even fan artists joined in. Within 48 hours, Instagram was filled with sketches, paintings, and digital edits of that barn scene. One fan drew Amy and Tai with ghostly silhouettes embracing, with the caption, "Some goodbyes come with a second hello." Not all reactions were the same. Some fans were confused. Some wanted clearer answers. Was it a dream? Was it real? But even those who had questions admitted it was beautiful, it was respectful, and most importantly, it felt earned. That's the magic of storytelling done right. It doesn't need to explain everything. It just needs to feel true. And Heartland, with this quiet but powerful scene, gave something rare in television, emotional closure that felt honest. Now, with the season just beginning, fans are left wondering, will Tai appear again? Was this a one-time moment? Or is there more to come? Has the door to the past cracked open for good? The answers remain unknown. But what is clear, what no one can deny, is that Ty Borden's return wasn't just a scene. It was an event. A ripple across screens and hearts alike. One that reminded millions of why they fell in love with Heartland. In the first place, there are moments in television that mark a turning point, not just in the story, but in the legacy of a show. Ty Borden's return was one of them. And it didn't scream. It didn't try to rewrite history. Instead, it whispered something far more powerful. We're not finished yet. For years, Heartland has been a story about healing. Through loss, through love, through horses, nature, and family. But now, as season 19 opens with the impossible, the return of a character we thought we'd buried with our grief, it changes everything. Not by undoing the past, but by deepening it. So what does this return mean for the future? For Amy, it's not just a dream. It's a turning point. A spiritual moment that suggests she's ready to stop surviving and start living again. We've watched her grieve. We've watched her raise Lindy alone, trying to stay strong while something inside her stayed locked away. But after this scene, we saw something shift. She smiled, not just with her mouth, but with her eyes. That's how we know this season won't be about losing Ty again. It will be about what she does with the part of him that never left. Maybe it means she'll find new love someday. Maybe she'll reopen her heart to the world, not to forget him, but to honor him by living fully. Or maybe the season will focus on legacy, on Lindy asking questions, on letters, on memories, on rediscovering who Ty was, not as a ghost, but as a guide. For the show itself, this is a brave move. Too many series avoid grief. They cut it short, replace it, move past it. Heartland didn't. It sat in it. And now, 5 seasons later, it earns the right to let us breathe again. Ty's return, short as it was, isn't about resurrection. It's about resonance. It's about those people in our lives we never truly lose. The ones whose voice still lives in our head. The ones whose love still shapes our choices. The ones who return, not in flesh, but in presence. As Heartland moves forward, we're likely to see more of this emotional layering. Flashbacks, internal moments, spiritual echoes. Maybe Ty appears again in dreams. Maybe in moments of crisis. Maybe through Lindy's questions about her father, questions that bring new answers from the past. And maybe that's the most powerful future the show could offer. Not the miracle of bringing Ty back fully, but the miracle of showing us how to carry someone with you, even when they're gone. Because Heartland has never really been about perfect endings. It's about growth, change, and grace. So what now? Now, we watch, we hope, we feel, and as fans, we hold on to the moment we were given. The quiet return, the healing glance, the smile that said, "You're not alone anymore." Ty Borden may have left the story once, but thanks to season 19, he'll never feel truly gone again. And just like that, it's quiet again. The barn is still. The breeze has moved on. The voice that once said, "I never left," now lives in the air around us, unseen but unforgettable. Ty Borden is gone. But also, he isn't. That's the paradox Heartland gave us in season 19, episode 1. It didn't promise us a miracle. It didn't rewrite time. It gave us something far more honest, something more real. A moment, a memory that breathed, a goodbye that came years late but still right on time. We don't know if Ty will return again this season. Maybe that scene was all we get. Maybe that soft moment in the barn was a one-time gift to the fans who never stopped hoping. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the beginning of a new thread in the story. One that ties Amy's past and future together. Through memory, through motherhood, through love that refuses to fade. But here's what matters. That scene was not just a nod to nostalgia. It was not fan service. It was storytelling with soul. And in an era of fast-paced drama, plot twists, and characters that come and go without weight, Heartland dared to do something different. It let us feel, Tais' return reminded us why this series has lasted nearly 2 decades. It's not about the horses or the ranch or even the love stories. It's about the quiet truths in life that are too big to say out loud. Like how grief never ends, how healing comes in waves, how love, when it's real, doesn't die. It just changes shape. And now, after everything, we're left not with answers, but with something better. Connection. A connection to the characters, to each other, to the years we've spent watching these stories unfold like sunrises over Alberta skies. So, if you felt your chest tighten during that barn scene, if you wiped away a tear when Ty spoke again, if your heart felt like it heard something it didn't know it was waiting for, you're not alone. We felt it too, and maybe, in some small way, that's the point. Maybe Ty's return wasn't just about Amy or the show. Maybe it was about us finding pieces of ourselves in a story that knows how to carry both sorrow and hope in the same breath. This may be the end of one chapter, but like Heartland has taught us again and again, the ride never really ends. The trail goes on, the sun still rises, and love, well, love always finds its way back. If this story moved you, share it. Comment below what Ty's return meant to you. Let's keep this conversation alive. Let's celebrate the journey, because somewhere out there, another fan is watching that barn door open and feeling seen. Thank you for being part of this. We'll meet again on the next ride.